Wow, the devil. Oh yeah. Right, so I currently have a Marantz PM 6007 integrated amp. It's a good amp, I really enjoy it, but not that it's underpowered. It's 45 watts per channel into 8 ohms RMS, but I just felt like I need a little bit more oomph for my tower speakers, my Dali Oberon 5s. So I didn't want to break the bank, you know. Money is, you know, I can't afford these really expensive amps. So I thought I'd try the Yamaha A-S501. Now this is rated at 85 watts per channel into 8 ohms RMS. So I thought it might be interesting to, you know, to see if this is any better. So I'm going to review this today, and then I'll do a follow-up video facing off this amp with a Marantz amp to see which one comes out the winner. I thought that'd be interesting, or maybe not to you, but it is to me anyway, so whatever. So anyway, let's get it out of the box and see what we've got. Okay, so what we got. Power button, remote sensor, headphone jack, speakers off, A, B, and A and B speakers. You can use that if you want to buy wire or use 2 sets of speakers. You got your bass, your treble, your balance, and your variable loudness knob. Now a lot of amps in the past have had loudness buttons where you can, when you listen to low volume, you can put the loudest button on or off wherever it is, but this is variable, and I think a lot of people get confused with this and use it incorrectly. So I'll be going into more detail in that later on in the video. So what have we got? We got line 3, line 2, line 1, optical, input coaxial, CD, tuner, phono. Has a phono stage. And I think what it is, these little LED lights light up for the ones you're on. You got pure direct mode if you want to defeat all your tone controls and the loudness, and your volume. You know, you have to say these are plastic buttons, not metal, and it's got an aluminium cap on it, or aluminum if you're in the US. Now I know this is kind of a Yamaha thing with their amps. They'll have these sort of thin knobs, and it's not good to have a thin knob, is it, sometimes? But they look fine when they're all in line, but sometimes I'm not sure when they're all offset. Do you see what I mean? It looks a bit messy. Kind of looks a bit messy when it's like, you know, if you're messing with the, mind you wouldn't have the balance over there like that. Why would I just want to listen to the left speaker today? Okay, so do you know what I mean? Though it looks a little bit, I don't know. With a round knob, it wouldn't look so messy. On the back, you've got your phono stage with your ground screw here. CD inputs and all your RCA inputs here. You've got a subwoofer out, one optical, one coaxial, a DC out. This is handy because I recently bought a Wii Mini streamer, so I could power that directly from here, which is awesome. Then you've got your speaker outputs, and then you have your impedance selector. Personally, I would leave this on high. I don't know. I know they said at Audioholics, do not touch this button, leave it on high, leave it alone. And I tend to agree with them. The remote is nice to hold. It's a slim remote. Fits nice into your hand. You know, like whatever remote. It looks good. It looks like it's aluminum. Okay, but it's not. It's just a silver plastic. It's a bit lightweight, but it does the job. You see this top bit here. So looks like Yamaha are doing the same as some other companies. I think Marantz are doing it perhaps then. And the remote covers different devices. So you can see the amps up here with all the line in, line out, all your connections here. And you got your CD open, close, amp, pure direct, play for the CD player, and this part here is for the tuner. You got your mute and a volume control. And with this one, the volume control actually turns the knob. It doesn't just turn the volume up, the actual volume pot actually turns as you push the volume up and down. So this is how you use the loudness control or variable loudness control on Yamaha amps. So you set your lowness to flat, and what you do then is you put your volume to the highest listening position. So the highest you would ever have it. Let's say it's halfway. Okay, and then you don't touch the volume knob. You just use this, and that turns the volume down to minus 30 dB, and that turns the volume up. And that's all you need to do. So as you decrease the decibels, the amp increases the tone controls, or the bass and the treble, to compensate for the lower volume. Now, one thing is to be said, that if you have it on here and you've got it on low volume, so it's going to be nice and quiet and it's using the loudness, and you press pure direct, what'll happen is it'll defeat this completely and it'll start blasting. So just be aware of that. If you're going to press pure direct, turn this down, put that back to flat, and then press pure direct. Otherwise, it's just going to be up there. That's going to defeat that, and it's going to blast it. Okay, I've put it through the ringer. I've tested the headphone jack. I've tested the optical. I've tested the RCAs via CD. So I've tested the DAC. I've tested the phono. What do I think? Well, I'll tell you what I think. Otherwise, what's the point in making this video? I think it's a very good, capable amp for the money. Some people I heard in some of the reviews that they lack bass. I didn't find that at all. I thought it had decent bass. I think it is more, compared to the Marantz PM6007, it's perhaps a little bit more mid-forward. Do you know what? In all fairness, I'm trying to make a comparison between my Marantz PM6007 and this, but it's very hard to distinguish between the two. If I had to choose which one, I'd probably stick with my Marantz PM6007, but this sounded, in my opinion, just as good. The only thing I will say is that this has 40 more watts than the Marantz. And I couldn't tell in the volume at all. Didn't seem, sound, or didn't feel any more powerful than my 45 watts Marantz amp compared to this 85 watts in here. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's something to do with, I'd like to get a testing kit and test how many watts he's actually put out, because I don't know, it didn't seem that loud in comparison to the Marantz amp at all. But very capable amp. The phono's decent. The headphones are decent. The DAC's okay. It's not bad at all. I can't really complain about the sound of it. If I had to complain really about anything, I can't really complain about much. I quite like the look of it, this plain sort of look, the size of it. There's a big gap in there with the equipment, which I suppose gives it a bit more room to breathe. I like the fascia, the look of it, this sort of retro-y style of what it looks like. I don't like these knobs here with the plastic and they've put an aluminium cap on the front. Nah, they don't feel very premium, but they do a job and they look okay. On the back, I would say the layout is okay, but it could be better for me. I just feel like, especially with these inputs and outputs, obviously I can see that's a phono there and that's a CD input, but the record outs and stuff are not obvious. Like on the Marantz, they're a little bit more obvious than this. So I think the layout on the back here is okay. I mean, it does the job and you can work it out. I had to look at the instructions where the record out was. I do like the DC out though. One thing I didn't mention at the beginning of the video is the auto power saving. So after a few hours, it'll just automatically switch off. Whether if you've got it on, it'll bang off. And obviously, it's just off if you want to, if you want to defeat that, just turn it off. Simple as that. Anyway, so let's give you a little listen to it through my speakers. And I smashed the remote to bits now. Let's give you a little listen to it and see what you think. And there you are. What do you think? And it was over YouTube, which you can't really appreciate it as much as I can. Anyway, so that's the end of the video. I think this is a very capable amp. I'm not going to keep it though, because the reason I bought it, as I said at the beginning of the video, was to maybe, you know, to get them extra watts, hoping it would, you know, drive my speakers a bit better. It didn't. It didn't do any worse than my current amp, but it didn't do any better. So what's the point in spending the money on it when my current amp is the same? So it's going back. But I have enjoyed using it. It's a decent amp, and I thoroughly recommend this amplifier. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, yeah? Don't forget, subscribe, come on, and I'll catch you in the next video.